data frame. After that, we have yeah. So how to perform different operations on this data frames. So here how to reset the indexes in this data frame. Let us assume in this created data frame we have this as a values. After this thing, I want to reset the default indexes. Here we have indexes like a comma b comma c comma d, whereas I want to keep some default indexes. To keep default indexes, here we have set function or reset function. We have set function as well as reset function also. So here I want to apply reset function on this created data. Sorry, here. So here in this data, I want to apply reset function. Here I'm saying df dot reset underscore index. I want to reset the indexes. So for that purpose, here I'm applying reset function on this data frame. So whenever you apply the reset function on this created data frame, yeah, here it is in the form of markdown, I think. So here we need to keep this thing in the form of code. So after keeping this thing, I am executing this portion. So whenever you execute this portion here, the indexes will be resetted with the zeros. So here I resetted the indexes with zeros. So if you want to keep the default indexes, if you want to reset the indexes, we need to use reset index function. So if you want to give new indexes, so let us assume I want to give some country names or some state names as a new indexes. So for that purpose, I am creating one list. So here I'm saying new index equals to. So for this variable here, I want to define few state names. So first one is AP, second one Telangana, next Maharashtra, after that Kerala, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, we need to specify one more name. So that is Karnataka. So here I specified four states names. And after that, if you want to convert this thing in the form of list, for this we need to apply split function. Whenever you apply split function, in this new index, we have these all states in the form of list. So to observe the output of this, understand this thing, what happens here. So here I'm observing what is the data present in this new index. So whenever you observe the data, so this data will be present in the form of list. So here I want to keep indexes as these values in the data frame. So for that purpose, here I'm saying df of. So initially I want to add new column in the data frame. For that purpose, here I'm saying df of. So I want to add one column. So I want to call which column? States column I want to add in this data frame. So here I want to add states column into this data frame. After this thing, in place of states, I want to replace with the new indexes, and I'm running this portion. Whenever you observe the data frame now, so here it is the data frame. In this data frame, this new column will be added. So to add new column in the data frame, it is a way. In this data frame function, so in this data frame, in the slicing bracket, you need to specify the column name, and whatever the values you want to keep, you can keep those values or you can specify those values. So here we added one column in this data frame. After adding one column to this data frame, I want to make that column as a index column. So for that purpose, we need to use set index function, df dot set underscore index. So here I want to set the indexes with states. So here I want to keep name states here. So whenever you keep this thing, so here indexes will be set up with the states. So here I am keeping the states as a indexes for each and every row. So here it is about setting the indexes for each and every column. So after that, so if you observe the data frame, it won't perform permanently, or the states won't become the permanent indexes. To make this thing permanently, here in place, so here we need to specify in place equals to true. If you want to modify this thing permanently in the data frame, here we need to say in place equals to true. Whenever you specify this attribute, so in the data frame, it will be completely modified or permanently modified. To modify the data permanently, then we need to say in place equals to true there. So that means here I modified the data permanently. So here this is about this thing. After this, we will see more on the data frames. So how to handle the missing data. So in the data frame, if you have any missed values, how to work on that missed data. So for that purpose, initially I'm creating one data frame. So here I'm creating data frame. So how to create the data frame? we need to use data frame function which is present in the pandas module. So by using this function here, in this function I want to create one dictionary. So I want to specify all the attributes in the dictionary. So here I want to create one row with the character A, and I want to specify that character in the comments. Why? Because it is a string. So for this column I want to specify the values in the form of list. In this list I am specifying values as 1 comma 2 comma. So here I want to keep one NaN value. So NaN stands for not available number, which is present in NumPy module. So after that I want to take one more row. So I want to store this row in the column B. So here, so with this I want to keep values, some random values. Those are 5 comma. Again I want to keep one more NaN value. Here I'm saying np dot NaN. So after this again I want to keep NaN value. So here I'm taking two NaN values. So here I want to take one more column. So for that I'm keeping column name as C. So for this C, I want to keep same thing. So I want to give some values. So here I'm giving values as 1 comma 2 comma 3. So here it is a data frame created by me. So after creating this data frame, I'm observing the output which is present in the data frame. Whenever you observe the data frame, by default index is coming with 0. After that, it is the data present in the data frame. It is a column A, and it is column B, and it is column C. Here NaN stands for not available number. So after this thing, if you want to remove all not available numbers, so here if you want to remove not available numbers, so for that we have drop NA function. So data frame dot drop NA. To drop the not available numbers, for that purpose we have drop NA function. So if you apply this function, by default it will remove all the rows which are having not available numbers. So if you observe this data here in the 0th row, what happens? What is the data? 151. That means, so in this row itself we have complete data. Coming to remaining rows, we have NaN values. That's why those remaining rows are eliminated. Whenever you apply drop NA function, it will remove all the rows which are having NaN values. Whereas if you want to remove the columns which are having NaN values, so for that purpose again we need to apply drop NA function only. Whereas in this drop NA function, we need to say axis equals to 1. If you want to remove the any column which is having NaN values, we need to specify axis equals to 1 inside this drop function. So whenever you specify this thing, so if you observe this data, in this data what happens? So here indexes are common. So here indexes coming commonly. Whereas coming to this column, here we have one NaN value. Coming to column B, here we have two NaN values. Coming to this column C, we don't have any NaN values. That's why it is giving output as this entire column. So if you want to remove the NaN values row, here it is the way. Whereas if you want to remove the any columns which are having NaN values, here it is a way. After that, if you observe the output of the data frame, it will return the complete data frame only. Whereas if you want to remove that column permanently, here we need to say in place equals to true. By default in the drop NA function, in place equals to false. If you want to remove that specific column or row permanently, here you need to say in place equals to true. Remember that thing. So after this thing, if you want to replace the missed values with the specific values, if you want to replace NaN values with the specific values, so for that purpose we have fill NA function. So here, if you want to fill any value which is having NaN value initially, so for that purpose, we have fill NA value. So here, in place of not presented places, if you want to keep the any values, you can keep that value here. So here, I want to replace each and every NaN box with fill value. So randomly, I'm giving this thing. So whatever the value you want to give, you can give that name. So here I'm keeping some value there. So here I'm keeping fill value. So here whenever NaN is there, that will be replaced with fill value. So whenever you want to replace that thing with any specific attribute, you can replace by using fill NA function. So here I want to perform mean operation on column A, and I want to replace the missed values in the column A with the mean value. To perform that thing, here we have so yeah, if you observe this thing, you will get idea of this thing. So here I'm saying df of A. I want to iterate to the column A. In the column A, I want to observe whether there is any missed values or not. So here I'm saying fill NA. So here I want to fill not available number. So with the specific value. So here I'm keeping that specific value as value equals to. So here I'm saying df of a dot. So here now you might not understand why I am doing this thing. Whereas coming to the machine learning preprocessing template, you will get to know why I am doing this thing. So in the tomorrow session, I will start machine learning. On that machine learning, I will explain you the data preprocessing technique. So at that time, you can easily understand why I am doing this thing. So here I want to replace this NaN value. So here we have NaN value, right? I want to replace this NaN value with the average of all the samples present in this specific column. So for that purpose here, I am applying mean strategy on this data. So after this, if you observe the data, so here this thing is replaced with 1. So here 1 plus 1 by 2, which is nothing but 1 only. So here I am replacing this sample with the average of all those samples. If you want to replace something by using average values, here it is the way. So after this thing, we have group by function. It is a very important function coming to the pandas, whereas coming to analytics, at anywhere, mostly we won't use this function. So to make you understand this function, I will take one simple example. So initially, I want to create one data frame. Again, I want to create one data frame in one dictionary. So here I am creating one dictionary initially. So here I want to define different companies. So here I'm defining different companies. So here I'm saying company. In place of this company, I'm taking one list. So here I'm defining company names as, at the first place I am specifying Google. At the second place, I will specify Infosys. So I'm saying Infi. So at the third place, so here again I want to, yeah. So I want to use this Google 2 times. So after that, I am using Infi. After this, again I want to use Infosys only. So for that purpose, here I'm saying Infi only. So after this, I want to say one more company. So I'm taking simple example, that is a TCS. After this, I want to take one more employee detail, that is TCS. So here in the company's name, I kept 3 companies' names. So after that, I want to keep the working person's names on the specific companies. So here I'm saying person equals to. So here for the person key, here I want to assign, yeah, I'm taking one more thing. So here in place of persons, here I want to give 4 names. So at the first place, I am giving Naveen. So at the second place, I'm giving some random name like Akhil. So after this saying, I am giving one more name, that is Mahesh. So at one more place, I'm giving name as Nag. So here till now we wrote for 4 members. Okay, done. So after this saying, I am writing one more name, that is Jacob. So after this, I want to write one more name, that is, yeah. So yeah, which name I want to write? Yeah, Venkatesh. Yeah, Venki. So here I'm giving some random names for each and every company. And after that, so what are the, so I want to keep some records, sales. So here we need to specify this thing also in the comments only. It is a one more key in the dictionary. And for this key also, I want to give some random values. So here I'm giving values as some 200, comma, after this thing, I am giving some 120, comma, after this thing, I want to give few more values. Those are 340, comma, after this, I'm giving few more names, 124. After this, I want to give 243, comma. So here it is a dictionary which I am defining. So here in this dictionary, I have the data. So here it is the data which I entered in this dictionary. After this, with this data, I want to create a data frame. So for that purpose, here I'm saying data frame equals to create the data frame, we need to use data frame function, which is present in the pandas module. So here I'm creating the data frame by using that data. So here this entire data will be present in the DF only. So here with this, I'm creating the data frame. So I am observing this data frame. So if you observe this data frame, this is the values which are present in this data frame. So if you observe this data frame, here we have 6 values, and here we have 3 different companies, and these are the employees, and these are the sales corresponding to each and every person. So here I want to group by the attributes by based on company. So here I want to group by based on the company. So here I'm applying group by function. So here I'm saying df dot group by. So here I want to group by company. So here we kept company name as company only. I want to group by company. So here I am grouping all these attributes based on this company, and I want to store this thing in one variable. So here I'm saving this thing in by company. I am sorting everything by company. So for that purpose, here I'm storing this result in the by company attribute or by company variable. So after this saying, I want to take mean of by company. So here I'm saying by company dot mean. Whenever you apply mean function on it, it will return the mean value of each and every company sales. So here if you observe Google. So for the Google, we have two samples. Two samples is nothing but 200 plus 120. So here we are grouping attributes by based on this company. That means this Google belongs to one single company. After this Infi belongs to single company. After this TCS will be belongs to one group. So here we are grouping based on this company. After that, here we are taking mean of sales of each and every company. So whenever we perform sales, it will perform average of each and every company. The average of this Google will be 160 and average of this Infi will be 232. Like that, average of this TCS will be 296.5. So here, this is about mean attribute which is present in this company. So after this, if you want to perform standard deviation on this thing, you can perform standard deviation also. So here I'm saying by company dot STD. So to know the standard deviation of all the values, so here we can perform this thing. So here it is the standard deviation for those the companies. So after this thing, if you want to know the minimum value or minimum sales by each and every company, so here for that purpose, so here we need to say by company dot minimum. So here it is a result corresponding to that thing. So here these are the minimum sales recorded for each and every company. Like that, if you want to know the maximum sales for company, so to know the maximum sales corresponding to those company, here we need to say max attribute. So whenever you say max, so it will return the maximum sales corresponding to each and every company. After that, for this thing here I'm applying the count. So how many records found for each and every company. So to count that thing here, we need to apply count function on it. Whenever you apply count function on it, it will return the number of person working for each and every company and number of sales. That means so number of instances occur for each and every company. So here count will be 2 only. So here by knowing each and every parameter, we are applying separate functions here. So whereas if you apply describe function on this data, we will get all these features. Whenever you apply the describe function on this entire data, we will get all these features directly. So here I am applying describe function on it. Whenever you apply the describe function on it, so here we will get the company name. Here we are getting mean value. So here it is. Here we are getting count, mean, standard deviation, minimum value as well as maximum value, 25% of the value, 50% of the value, 75% of the value. So here describe is a function which is used to describe any data set. So here if you want to perform transpose operation for this thing, you can perform the transpose also. So here I'm saying I want to transpose this data. So here I'm saying transpose of this thing. Whenever you perform transpose of, yeah, good, what happened? Yeah, here we need to specify the data, right? Yeah. So whenever you observe the output, so here it is the output. On the sales, we are performing all this operation. So here it is a company. So here these are the parameters which we are considering, and these are the results for each and every company. So count, number of counts, number of minimum values for each and every company sales, standard deviation for each and every company, minimum values for each and minimum sales for each and every company, like that, maximum sales for each and every company. To know the all the parameters corresponding to those companies, we need to perform this thing. Whereas if you want to add one data frame with the another data frame, we have merging and concatenation as well as join functions. I will forward you that addition. I will share you that additional content with you. Go through that content. So coming to our course, that is not that much important. So here in the course, we are not using that thing. So coming to the next, so what are the different operations we can perform on this data set? So we will see operations. So these operations as well as input and output statements corresponding to these pandas are the very important things coming to the R course. So initially we need to import the pandas. So initially we imported that pandas module. After that, here we need to create one more data frame. So here I'm creating one data frame. So here I'm saying pd dot data frame. Whenever you want to create the data frame, we need to use data frame function. So here I'm creating one data frame. In this data frame here, I want to create different columns. So I want to create all these columns in the dictionary. So here in the dictionary, I want to create three different columns. So here in the first brackets here, I'm saying column one. So in the column one, I want to keep some values randomly. So I want to specify those values in the list 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. So this is a values corresponding to key one, sorry, column one. So after that we need to define column two. Here I'm specifying few more values again. So in the column two here I'm specifying values as 444. Yeah, we need to specify all these values in list, right? Yeah, 444 comma here I want to specify four values, right? 555, 666 comma 777. So not like that. I want to specify the duplicate values also. So here I'm saying 444, 55, 555, 666, 444. Okay, done. So I specified these three values. So I want to take one more column, that is column three. Yeah, good. So here I want to take one more key. We need to specify that key in comments. Yeah, column three. Sorry, yeah. So after this thing for this column three also, I want to give some name. So in the, yeah. So here I want to specify the values in strings. So here I'm saying ABC, comma, here I want to specify DEF. So after that, yeah, here I want to specify few more characters, that is GHI, XYZ. So here I'm creating one data frame. Invalid syntax, which mistake we made. So here we are creating the data frame. Okay. So in the data frame, what we did, yeah, good. So here we need to keep, yeah, good. So here we need to keep bracket here. After this, we need to keep comma here. So I'm running this portion. So here we created one data frame. So after creating this data frame, what we need to do? So here I want to get the top 5 rows present in this data frame. So here it is a data frame which is created by me. So in this data frame, in the specific column, I want to know all the unique values. To access the any unique values present in any column, for the purpose we have unique function. Unique is a function which is used to access the values which are present in any specific column. So here I'm saying, so in which column I want to access the unique values? From the column 2, I want to access all the unique values. So here I am specifying the column name. So here column 2 is nothing but this column. In this column, I want to access all the unique values and I'm running this portion. Whenever you run this portion, so here it will return the all unique values which are present in this column. So here in this column, if you observe, 444, 555, 666 are the unique values. So it is a duplicate values. That's why it is giving all the unique values present in this specific thing. So after this thing, if you want to access number of unique values corresponding to each and every column. So if you want to access the number of unique values, here we need to specify n unique. So n unique is nothing but number of unique values. So in this column, if you observe, we have only 3 unique values. So it is a small data frame. So for that purpose, we can easily visualize the data. Whereas if you observe it, let assume it is a bigger data set or a bigger data frame, we can't understand that thing. So to know this kind of information, we need to apply number of unique values function. After this, if you want to count number of values present on the data frame, so for that purpose, we need to apply count function on it. So here I'm saying I want to apply value count on it. So here I'm saying value underscore count. So whenever you apply this function, yeah, Here we need to apply value count. It is not count, it is counts, value counts. So whenever you apply value count function, so how many values repeated how many times, it will return how many values repeated how many times. So here it is about the different attributes. So if you can apply different functions on this data also. So I will give that thing as an assignment. I will share you the document corresponding to this thing. So we have 3 more minutes corresponding to this session. So here, how to read the input and how to create the data frame by using this data. So by using this data, if you want to create one CSV file or Excel file, so I want to create one Excel file with the specific data, or else I want to read the data which is present on my desktop. So to read the data from the desktop or any website, so here we have, so if you want to read the CSV file, so for that purpose, we have read underscore CSV function. So here I'm saying I want to read the data which is present on my screen. So here I'm saying read underscore CSV. So here read underscore CSV is a function which is used to read the data present anywhere. So here I want to read the data which is present on my desktop. So let us say I am going to my desktop. So here in this desktop, we have two XLS files. So here we have one CSV file. So here it is a one CSV file. I want to copy this file name. So here I'm copying this entire file name and I'm copying this thing, Control C. Yeah. And I want to paste that thing here, pasting that name here. And after this thing, I am running this portion. So here, whenever you run this portion, this program, here we are accessing the entire data which is present on that CSV file. So here, by using read underscore CSV function, we can access the data present at any CSV file. Whereas if you want to access the data which is present in Excel file, so to access, so here I'm storing this data in the data frame attribute. So here data frame equals to. So here I'm storing this result in the data frame attribute. So in the data frame, if you want to access the data which is present in each and every column, so if you want to know the column names corresponding to this entire data frame, so here we need to use columns attribute. Whenever you ask the column, so here these are the different columns present in this data frame. So here you can observe that thing here. So whenever you observe the data frame, so here these are the column names. So here whenever you apply columns attribute, it will return all the columns. Whereas if you want to access the top 5 rows from the data frame, so if you want to access only top 5 rows corresponding to the data frame, we need to use head function. Head is a function which is used to access the data which is present in the data frame. So it will return top 5 rows data only. Like that, if you want to access the data which is present in the bottom 5 rows, in place of head, here we need to use tail function. So tail is a function which is used to access the data which is present in the last 5 rows. Like that, if you want to access the data which is present in any Excel file, so here we need to say pd.pandas.read underscore Excel. If you want to read the data from any Excel file, we need to specify this name. So here I want to read one Excel file which is present on my laptop. So here we have internship registration XLS file. So here I'm copying this entire name. So here I'm copying this name. After copying this name, where it is, yeah, I want to paste that name here. And I'm running this portion. Whenever you run this portion, here it is the data which is present on that Excel sheet. So here it is the data written by that Excel sheet. So to access the data from any existed file, it is a way. Whereas if you want to create a new data frame with the existed data, let us assume, so here I want to create one CSV file by using this data. So to create the Excel file or CSV file. So here, if you want to create one CSV file, here we need to say to underscore CSV. I want to convert this data frame in the form of CSV file, and whatever the name you want to give this for this file, you can give that name. So here I'm saying new file dot CSV. Here I am running this portion. Whenever you run this portion, so here